7:01 p.m. The first order of business is the roll call.
Commissioner Johnson?
Present.
Commissioner Hall?
Present.
Commissioner Street? Present. Vice Mayor Butler?
Present.
Mayor Anderson?
Present. Item number 3 is prayer and pledge. If everyone would stand. Vice Mayor Butler.
Lord, we're meeting today to cook matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in a spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 4 is mayor's comments. I would like to welcome everyone from the Dixie Youth Softball World Series, everyone who participated, parents, grandparents, and everyone who had any part in helping make this such a success. We will, for item number 5, I will make a motion to add to the agenda the recognition of the Dixie Softball World Series, item 7C.
Second.
Ms. Jones?
Mayor,
Mayor Anderson?
Mayor, is this an agenda item that I need to add possibly?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, go ahead. Do
Okay, thank you. I would like to add,
you have your mic?
yes, I do.
It's a little, everybody make
I would
sure
like
they're
to
close
add
to their
a
mics.
discussion regarding a water and sewer committee that I would like to head up and move forward with. So that's a discussion only on that tonight. Thank you.
So do we want to, let's see, would we make that
New business B.
new business 11B?
It may be better just to put that under roundtable. Or you want to just talk about it tonight and see if there's an appetite?
Yeah, basically, yes.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do would be to leave the agenda, amend the agenda to add Dixie's softball, but address it under roundtable.
Okay.
And that way, if there's an appetite to form the committee, then we can have staff can have a proper resolution to vote on at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Jones?
Mayor Anderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye.
Commissioner Street? Aye. Vice Mayor Butler?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Item number 6, citizens' comments.
There are none tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 7, public announcements, awards, and recognition. Item A, city events. Richard Ross.
Good evening. This past Saturday, we had our back-to-school bash here at City Hall. The mayor and I handed out approximately 300 backpacks to kids in the area, and that was sponsored by the taxpayers and Apex Bank, First Bank, and United Way. We thank everyone for participating in that. It's a great event, so we can give out to kids to help them start on a positive school year. And the next event that we have coming up is Nature Fest on Saturday, September 23rd. The event is from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. at Bowie Nature Park. We're still accepting sponsors and vendors for that event. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Item 7B, Mr. Dodaro, would you come forward to give out the American Legion award presentation, please?
Thank you, Board, Commissioners, City. I am the Post Commander of the American Legion Post 248 here in Fairview for the second year. We've been trying to get this taken care of for the last couple months, but scheduling and just normal things getting in the way. So we're going to do it tonight. The American Legion would like to present two, I guess, trophies, plaques, to the Parks and Public Works Department. And we also have a real nice certificate of appreciation for each employee from those two departments. I know the majority of them are here tonight, minus one that is out ill. So if you will bear with me for a moment. From the Public Works, Mr. Blake Ayers. Forward, please. Mr. William Adkins. And Mr. Todd Bratcher. Many of you don't know who these gentlemen are, but these are the guys behind the scene cleaning out the ditches, picking up the trash, fixing our public property and whatnot at all hours of the day and night. They cleaned up the roads after the storms. So I wanted to, not just myself, but the American Legion wanted to point it out to these gentlemen and thank them in person. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Hey, David, let me get a picture
Oh.
with y'all.
Do you want the picture? Our other unsung heroes, not to be outdone, is our Parks Department. They're the crews that mow, maintain, clean up. They had quite a bit of storm damage also, and keep us safe at our city parks. If Mr. Larry Hill would come forward, please. Justin Tomlin. And my brother in arms, Keith Paisley. These guys have busted their behinds, not only the last 2.5 years with the playground, but every single day out there in Bowie Park, Veterans Park, and Historic Park. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Board.
Thank you. Thank each and every one of you for everything you do. I know that many of us don't see it because it's all hours of the night, and we really appreciate it. So item 7C is a recognition for everyone involved with Dixie, this Dixie Softball World Series. Several of us got to be out there pretty much every day, and it was a huge undertaking. And I played softball when I was young, and I tell you, I wasn't as sharp as these girls. I mean, they knew where to throw it. They knew, I mean, they were batters. They were spunky. They, just so talented. I mean, it was unbelievable watching them. And girls, you should be so proud. I mean, wow, you knew exactly what to do, when to do it with the ball. You're such hitters. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed. And, it was a lot of heat out there, and y'all it was amazing. So I'm so proud of each and every one of you, all the U8, U10, Fairview girls. Y'all did so wonderful. And the lady who I want to come to the mic, who put this all together, is Amanda Crutcher. I would like for Amanda to, since I don't know each and every one of you and your parts in this, I do want to say one thing before we start, but I'd like Amanda just to say a few words about, the different people who are involved in making this such a success. And our city, I spoke with so many different parents and coaches from all the different states that were represented, and they were so appreciative and positive about our community and the experience they had here and how welcoming we all were. And they just thought the fields were beautiful, and none of that could have happened unless a lot of volunteers put a lot of time and effort in on making the fields the way they were and just being so welcoming. And this will be a World Series that's talked about for a long time because we set a precedence here. I've heard, such great things about how they felt about our World Series. I do want to point out that our Vice Mayor, Brandon Butler, he was at every game on Field 2, keeping the books. I would like to point out that Commissioner Stuart Johnson, he umpired all 21 games. They took time away from their careers to come and help. And Vice Mayor Butler is also the Vice President of the Fairview Rec Association, and also he's the Director of the umpires. So he gives a lot of time to the league out there. But there are a lot of people here that I may not know, what they did, and I would like, Amanda and Shannon to kind of, let us know about that, so.
Mayor, Commissioners, thank you for having us tonight. I'm not Amanda, obviously. You put Amanda on the spot. She didn't
I'm
know
sorry, I didn't mean
she
to
didn't
do
know what
that,
to
but-
do there. I'll tell you, Fairview has had the privilege to host, I guess this would be our third World Series. Fairview hosted back in 1993 and 1999. A couple years ago, Amanda and I, on behalf of the Fairview Recreation Association, went over to Chattanooga to the Dixie Softball Annual Conference, put in a bid. We were over there for about 3 days with those folks. And from there, the idea of having a World Series back in Fairview this year kind of started. And so put in a bid, won the bid, went back to Panama City Beach last year for the Dixie Softball Conference, Annual Conference, and then presented our packet, if you will, of what we plan to do for the World Series that we just had. So this process started a couple years ago. Amanda put together a committee about 15 months ago, and that committee has worked monthly in the past several months, weekly, and then, of course, as we got closer to the event, literally every day on this event. So this was no small task. There are way too many people to thank. Amanda, with her committee, really worked hard to not only do this for our program, for these girls, but also to let Fairview just shine in the moment. None of these folks did this for any recognition. Thank you for having us tonight. We didn't expect it. Don't want recognition, don't want praise. What we wanted was for our kids and for Fairview to really put on a show. And I think we accomplished that from the second they arrived in town until everyone pulled out on Tuesday. So, again, just way too many people to thank. Amanda had, how many people on your committee? So 17 people that she met with and has been a part of this process. The FRA board, I think there's 12 or 14 of us, 14 I think now, that all materially participated in this. I know the coaches that were involved in these two age divisions have coached for numerous years with these girls. You don't just do this overnight, whether it's putting on the event or whether it's coaching your girls up. And these guys and gals have been involved in this for a long time and have been together working really hard to get to the point that they are and to play at the level that they're playing. Like Mayor Anderson said, the talent that we have is really good, And that showed in the World Series, and you don't just, that just doesn't happen overnight. So the coaches, thank you. Players, obviously, thank you for putting on the exhibition of talent that you did for the past 4 days. I know that everybody sacrificed in this process, whether it's coaches, parents. A lot of times vacations don't happen in the summer because we're committed to softball. I know we've missed a bunch the past 4 or 5 years. So I understand the sacrifice, and I think everybody that was involved or that is involved understands the sacrifice made and what goes into one of these things. We had volunteers from other leagues in our district. Thank you guys. I know some folks from Dixon came over to help, Toby and some of her crew. We had umpires from East Tickman that came over, Jack and Joey. Again, the parents on in each of these age divisions. Without the work that was done in preparing these fields in between games and in advance of the World Series, there's no way any of this could have happened without every single person's contribution. And we cannot thank you enough for that. Like anything, you know, there's always the naysayers and the people that are going to have something negative to say about what went on. But by and large, everything that I have heard has been positive about this event. The individuals that came here from out of state, I think they felt welcomed. I think they were treated respectfully and left with a good impression of Fairview. And that was what was important to us. We have, it also gave us an opportunity as an organization to raise some money, to continue to try to make improvements to our park. I think that the event this weekend hopefully is just a microcosm of things that could come with our park without the commitment and support of this board and the county. We couldn't have had some of the upgrades that we've had at our facility. We hope to continue that partnership, for that to grow, us to continue to make improvements at the facility, and I think the sky's the limit on what we could ultimately do in youth athletics here. And so, with that said, I think at this point, Mayor, would you like for the coaches just to introduce their players?
That would be great. So this is what we're going to do. I'd like for introduce the coaches and their players. And then we had Bobby Blevins is new to our group. He's someone we've reached out to that's, if you've seen online or on Facebook, maybe social media, he is doing, when we have an event, he'll do video and pictures and stuff like that. Now, he puts music to it. We can't do that here in City Hall. We can't put the music to it. But after the coaches are introduced and the players, then we're going to play the video that he did, which is really awesome. And then I want the players and the coaches right behind the podium to be in the center so I can get a picture. So we'll do the picture last.
Okay, excellent. So the Angels group, or U10, if you will, was the head coach was Dre Moultrie. Dre, I'll let you come up, introduce your assistant coaches. I know they were assisted. Dre was assisted by Matthew Atkinson and David Baker. And I see David. Is Matthew here? There. Thought I saw Matthew. Anyway, here you go, Dre.
Yep, I'm actually going to pass this over to DB because he's the one, this is his wheelhouse of nicknames and introducing the players. So I don't know where, I saw Matt, but did he step out, Christy? Oh, there he is. Yep. All right, here you go.
Thank y'all. All right, I'll start off on this end with number 34 is the Wiz Moultrie. I call her Busy Izzy. Number 11, Gracie Owen. Let's go, G.O. Number 3, Piper Malone. Piper the Sniper. And then we got number 8, J.P. Smooth, Jordan Phillips. Number 33, Snake Eyes, Olivia Cook. Got 00, Buckshot, Briley Lancaster Sheffield. Got 05, Rosa Mayo, Rosa May Glass. I call her Peaches. She's number 9, Kylie Reynolds. Big Country, number 4, Emery Rowland. The 615, Journey Atkinson. And I'm kind of partial to this one. She's the dude, Collins Baker. Thank you, everyone. Fairview is one of the last true communities. It is the last community in Williamson County. And so I grew up in Franklin, but I am proud to say that I am from Fairview. Oh, I'm so sorry. I knew I was missing one. Number 12, Alora Luke. She's not able to be here tonight, but she's a very big part of this team. So, Alora Luke. And I will now usher us out and turn it over to the head coach of the 8U.
Yeah, so like if everybody could get in the center and the coaches in the back, then I can get a picture. Yeah, face me, sorry. The newspaper called me and asked me if I could get this picture, so y'all just be ready for it to be in the newspaper. There you go, perfect. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you, girls.
All right, our 8U team, or the Darlings, was head coach Kelly Hollers. Kelly, I'll let you come up and introduce your assistants.
Well, I guess I'll be just like Dre right there. I might have to have somebody else come up here and announce these girls' names. So, my assistant coach, Randall Richards. A couple of the coaches couldn't be here tonight, Aaron Lampley and Matt Gentry. So I'll let him do the girls.
All right, we'll start it off with V. Hartley. Line up over here. And we got Paisley King. We got Odessa Reed. Belle Gentry.
Allie Lehman. Madison Yates. Emma Boom Boom Richards. Kendall Davis. P-ball. P.J. Lampley. Cam Hill. Campbell England. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, your 7 and 8 Fairview Darlings.
right in the middle and coaches behind, that'd be great. All right, we ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, girls. Congratulations.
So before we watch the video, again, I just want to say, again, thank you so much on behalf of the Fairview Recreation Association. Thank you, City of Fairview, for the support that you gave us with this event. I thank everyone involved. We are so proud of you all. Thank you.
Look how beautiful our parks are. I mean, our baseball field. It's beautiful. All right. I don't know. I think it's playing again. Take number 2. All right. Again, it was a true pleasure to meet all of you girls and watch you play. Y'all are very talented young ladies, and I know you're going to go far in life and in softball. So we're going to continue with the meeting. If you'd like to stay, you can, but if not, then we'll just, y'all can go ahead and go.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys. I know. We'll just pick a different event and just have everybody come. He's going to stay and watch the meeting. He's going to stay and watch the meeting.
His wife's probably worried sick about him.
Okay, item number 8, staff comments and monthly reports. A, community services report.
Our Public Works Department, for the month of July, set up and did the cleanup for the July 3rd event. They finished the right-of-way mowing and started their third cut. They extended the parking lot for the fire department, trimmed and mulched the flower beds at the health department. They topped overhanging limbs on Vicksburg Drive, completed chipper service for the month, total of 15 truckloads, cut up and removed trees from storms at Horn Tavern Road, Cumberland Drive, and King Road, and they replaced the flash relay in the traffic light at Adele Road and Fairview Boulevard. For the planning department, we issued 5 residential building permits. End of report.
Thank you. Item number B, finance report.
Thank you, Mayor, Board. In hard copy, I gave you a copy of the received today, our budget approval letter from the state comptroller. Also, all the balances for our accounts, which we're at a healthy place for this time of year. Also, I guess the main thing I've been focusing on right now is getting ready for the audit. We've had some HR happenings, but right now we've got the audit scheduled for the field work for the last week in August, and all that's looking good. So we're just moving forward. Thank you.
Any questions from the board? All right, 8C, city manager report.
I'm sorry, that was kind of it too.
Okay. All right, so item 9, consent agenda. 9A, minutes from July 20th, 2023, Board of Commissioner work session. 9B, minutes from July 20th, 2023, Board of Commissioners regular meeting.
Move to approve.
Ms. Jones?
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson. Aye. Commissioner Street. Aye. Vice Mayor Butler.
Aye.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye. Item 9, A and B, pass 5-0. Item 10, old business. Okay, so item 10, A, and then 1 and 2, should I read those and then make a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Item 10A, rezoning Chester Road. Item 10A1 is public hearing. And then 10A2, second and final reading of ordinance 2023-10, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Fairview, Tennessee by rezoning 17.23 acres of property located on Chester Road, consisting of Williamson County Tax Map 042, parcel 142.00 from RS40, single-family residential, to RM8, multifamily residential, property owner Kathy Linda Oneida. So I make a motion to defer. A motion to defer the public hearing and rezoning, second reading to September 7th, 2023. The meeting will be held at 7 p.m. at City Hall, 7100 City Center Way.
Second.
Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Hall.
Aye.
Commissioner Street. Aye. Vice Mayor Butler.
Aye.
Item 10A, 1 and 2, pass 5-0 for deferring. Item 11, new business. Item A, Resolution 52-23, a resolution of the City of Fairview Board of Commissioners to only allow city-issued electronic devices to be used during Board of Commissioner business meetings. This is my agenda item. I'll explain about this. The city has issued each Board of Commissioner member an iPad and a cell phone. These items, if there were any type of litigation or just any type of action that our devices would need to be retrieved or confiscated, we need to make sure that we're only using city-issued devices and not personal devices, because I'm trying to do this to protect each one of us from having to turn over a personal device. Do we have any questions?
Mayor, I'll add to that. If you happen to use your personal device for city business, then that does not protect you from the Tennessee Open Records Act. They could, in fact, get your personal device and everything on it. And so doing your city work on your city-issued device is by far the best and the most preferable practice.
Anyone have any questions or comments?
I have one. The only thing that's sent to me on my phone is the agenda. I do nothing else with that. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, sir, unless, you're using it to send emails, or if you're using your city email account on your phone, I don't know if you send
No,
emails from your
no,
phone.
it's my personal email.
I think you're fine.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Ms. Jones?
Move to approve.
Sorry.
Second.
Vice Mayor Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Hall,
Aye.
Commissioner Street. Aye. Mayor Anderson.
Aye. Item 11A passes 5-0. Item 12, roundtable, mayor and commissioners. Commissioner Hall?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Vice Mayor Butler. Thank you, Commissioner Street. And thank you, Commissioner Johnson, for indulging me for a minute or two here. It's come to my attention that we've never had a representative at the Water Authority Board. Known it for a long time, but I think it's time now that we tried to get something moving forward. I would personally like to set up a water and sewer committee and be able to attend their meetings. I would suggest possibly 3 members. Maybe we could alternate going back and forth, and me not being one of those members. I will be glad to go with them for the first time or two to introduce them to everybody. I've been to several in the past when I was the city manager. But I think it's time for us to lobby for a member of that board and see what we can get done there to see if we can have a voting member. Also, it's come to my attention that Hickman County would like to be a part of that, so I'll have to investigate that a little further there to see what their situation is with what they would like to see happen. But that's what the goal of it is to set up a committee to start attending those meetings and see if we can lobby to get a representative from Fairview. And what I'm suggesting possibly is a Fairview citizen to be a member of that board, rather than a member of our board or any member of the staff. I'd like to see them. So that's my recommendation, and it'd be up to y'all to allow me to do that. So that's the reason I came to y'all about it.
Mr. Carter, so should we add that to the next agenda to approve that committee? And
Well, this would be a good time for you all to talk legally. That wouldn't be in violation of the Public Records Act about whether you agree or not, and how many members that committee should have, and who should, what would be the eligibility to be on that committee. And then so staff can hear that and prepare an appropriate resolution for you to vote on if you all believe that Commissioner Hall is correct in what he's requested. So this would be a good time for you to have discussion so Rachel knows what to put in the resolution. Otherwise, we won't have much of a resolution.
Mayor?
Yes.
I agree. I think having representation there, for a while, we had Mr. Anderson from the Planning Commission attending those meetings and giving updates at the Planning Commission. But I agree, some kind of committee of 2 or 3 members, where maybe they don't have to go every meeting, they could swap and then come back and give a report of the happenings, and then maybe try and find a way to try and to negotiate a membership on the board that represents Fairview. So I agree with your
That would
direction.
probably be looking into their bylaws too, you know, so that's what I would try to do, is get a copy of their bylaws and stuff.
I think the 3 to my right are perfect. I asked Commissioner Street, and she didn't feel like she wanted on it at this time, and I don't as well, so I think the 3 of y'all would be perfect. And if it needs to be swapped out later, that's fine, but
I would prefer not to have a board member on the board. I'd like to have Fairview citizens
oh, okay.
rather than board members.
Let me weigh in on that. I've talked to Michael Rogers several times, and basically I'm getting the same, conversation where when, the sewer was turned over to Dixon County, it was not negotiated that time to have a board member from a person from Fairview be a board member. So they don't see that it's, something they need to do. So I guess my question would be is, how do we change their mind?
Show up at the meeting and keep asking.
So
So do
would this committee, would that be the purpose of this 3-person committee, is to at least one person go to each meeting and keep asking?
Keep referring to that we still would like to have a member of that board and, possibly have an input on how the sewer taps are being, handed out.
And then would the chairman from that committee then come to your BOC meetings and report, for example, under, I don't know, either 7 or 8 public announcements or staff comments and monthly reports?
Whatever part you'd like to have it on the agenda, yes, sir.
And so your proposal is to have 3 citizens on that committee, but
Yes.
no board members?
No board members.
And Commissioner Johnson suggested 3 board members. I might suggest that you have 1 board member and 3 citizens, perhaps as a compromise.
Maybe
I
2.
don't know.
If it's going to, committee
but-
that's going to vote.
Just a thought.
If you were going to have a voting committee, then you would need 5, I would say. So you could have 2 board members and 3 citizens.
Yeah, I would see it more as of staying in contact or updated with the happenings of their meetings and reporting back. And at one point, we discussed, they're discussing and reviewing a future treatment center, wherever it be, they're still trying to figure it out. But our goal was to, if that day came that they were going to build a new treatment center, to potentially offer capital financials towards that treatment center and negotiation for a seat on the board. And so try and still, play that in hand as it comes, but stay informed with the committee of people attending the meetings is kind of how I see it.
Well, basically, our subdivisions, they start with water and sewer. That's the ground rule, so to speak.
Would this committee meet outside going to these meetings?
We could maybe meet for a short time. I wouldn't see that it would be it'd be just a committee meeting or something. If you think we need to do it at City Hall, that would be fine, but if you think it would just be a cup of coffee at one of the restaurants or something, could be done that way too.
Well, if you were to meet, it'd be a public meeting, and so you'd have to advertise the meeting and almost like Yeah, especially if you have more than one. Is it necessary to have a committee and maybe just one of you just volunteer to go to the meetings and report back to the rest of you all during roundtable? Would that, I don't know if that's what you have in mind, Commissioner Hall. I'm just wondering if a committee is the right,
Like a liaison or?
yeah, is the right mechanism, or if a liaison or someone that's just goes to those meetings as part of your service on behalf of Fairview.
Well, the reason
don't
I
know.
said committee, because I didn't want to be a board. You know, it would take a lot more involvement to put
Sure.
another board out there. And that's the reason I figured a committee to come back and report would be.
Do you know how often they meet, Mr. Hall?
It's once a month. I think it's first Monday of the month. I'd have to recheck that, so don't quote me on that right now. But I attended it for several years myself. Actually, before Michael Rogers was ever hired there, I think it was back that far. He's been there quite a number of years now, I think, so.
So, do we think it's a good idea to have a board member go to the meeting and report back? Is that what we're saying? Because we'd have to advertise meetings if there were, or do we, how do we want to do, I mean, how do we want to move forward?
Well, I'd hate to put any more work off on us because we have a lot of meetings as it is now, and,
I'm more than happy to do it.
well,
It's
I
once a
had-
month on a Monday.
I had someone in mind myself, a citizen that was very,
Oh, okay, well,
I haven't asked that person yet, but I had planned on doing so, and bring that person to the next meeting.
If it's a one citizen that would volunteer to go and report back to you, I'm not sure that you need a formal committee to have that person do that. And if it's one of you that volunteer to go and then report back, you know, on roundtables, I don't know if it's necessary to take formal action. I think that this decision is whether you need a committee of multiple people, and if you do, then what is that committee tasked with? It sounds like, to me, the main task would be to attend this meeting. So I don't know if meetings of that committee would be necessary. So I wonder if a committee is the right mechanism, or if we're just looking for someone to attend the meetings and then report back. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Those are just observations sitting here.
I think if you have someone in mind, maybe you ask them if they could be the representative. We can have that discussion. And if they can't attend, then one of us could step in and go that month and report back.
Why don't you let me table this for tonight, and I'll check with that person that I have in mind and see whether or not he's willing to take that chore on.
I would say this is an excellent use of roundtable, though, and what it's intended is a spur discussion. So it's nice to see you talk and discuss these items, and it will pay dividends in the future, I think.
Okay.
So,
But I'll be glad to give an answer at the next meeting, whether this person is willing to take on that chore, okay? And to me, it is a chore because of what we need to have done in the future is, as far as protecting Fairview side of everything, you know. I think we need to have some representation at their board meetings, you know, as far as voting privileges.
they're not going to freely give that.
I understand that, Lisa. I've been involved with it for a number
I
of
know,
years,
but
so
I
I know
mean,
where you're coming from there.
I think it's a great idea for us to send people to, you know, find out what's going on and where their heads are at and bring it back to the board and everything. And I would love to believe that we're going to be able to convince them to put one, you know, somebody on their board. But, I mean, that's been approached, as you know, over and over and over again, and they've refused because they don't have to. So I think we need to try to figure out, you know, in addition to someone going to the meetings and coming back and reporting what what was said in the meeting, is maybe get some ideas of how we can work with them. It's not going to be just asking them, but work with them. Maybe if it's like Vice Mayor Butler said, some financial, something we can do to, work with them to get someone on their board representing us.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm going to try to get the bylaws and see if there's something there.
And the person that you have in mind that you're thinking about talking to, are they kind of assertive? Are they like an assertive person that you feel like will,
Very much so.
Okay. Because if it's somebody who, I feel like maybe is not someone who's gonna.
I don't want to bring his name out tonight until he has a chance to
Yeah,
turn it
that'd
down.
probably be a good
Okay?
idea.
All right.
But, and the only reason I volunteered, if we want to do a citizen and a board member, or however we want to do it, is because, I have a lot of free time. So it's like, I'm willing to do that, but I'm not wanting to step in if somebody else wanted to do it. I'm just saying I'm willing to do it, but if anybody else wants to do it, then that's fine as well.
Mayor, if I could at this time, I want to apologize to the board, but I need to leave.
Well, do you want to have your time? Okay. All right. Anything else, Commissioner Hall?
That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. I think you've brought up a good point. I think we've just, kind of been accepting what's come to us with the water and sewer as just the way it's got to be. But I think it's time now with, the growth that we have and this water and sewer has been an issue for a long time. So I think it's a good point for us to try to get more involved and see what we can do about that.
One other thing, since I've got the mic right now, if you don't mind, I'd like to thank the fire department for the commissioner camp. I really loved it. Thank you, Scott. It was very exciting. You're welcome. I think all of these here, same boat I'm in, of liking the night. It was a good night.
Commissioner Street?
So I want to thank Chief Hughes too for inviting us. It was really fun. I got to use the tools. That was exciting. But it was a really good night. A lot of information was given to us that could help us with our decisions that we make up here. And it was just really a good thing. I wanted to congratulate the girls with their World Series games, and I think Coach Jones is probably going to have a hard time when they get to the high school picking out his players. So they looked really good, and I'm proud of them. I was there with my husband, my daughter playing a World Series a few years ago, and it's exciting. It's rough. It's hard work, but it's exciting, and to see the girls to be just so happy, it's always worth it. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Butler?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to the American Legion for taking the time to recognize our Public Works and Parks Department. They certainly do not get recognized enough, so thank you for calling attention to that, and thank you to those guys. Thank you for the World Series weekend. It was a very special weekend in Fairview, watching so many volunteers do so many random things, just making it happen, just like Fairview always does. It was a special weekend showcase in our community. Thank you to the fire department for letting us in their house on this past week. Was Tuesday night. We had some of the world famous barbecue from our chief. We got to learn a lot of things. It's definitely one of the top events that we've had since being a commissioner, so thank you for having us over there. And that's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Okay. I can't say enough about how Fairview was represented with this Little League Softball World Series. Everyone I spoke with, they were just so impressed. with our community and how beautiful the baseball fields were and just how they were treated while they were here. In the future, if we host another one of these, I hope we will, at some point, maybe we'll get some hotels so that everybody can, stay here and not have to leave our town. But it was a great event, and it was so exciting. The girls are just impressive. I mean, at that age, I think of 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds that can play like that. I know when I played, we all swarmed like bees to try to get the ball, and we didn't know where to throw it, and I don't even know if we knew how to bat really well. But, I mean, these girls, they look professional. I was very impressed. So it's just been exciting, 4 or 5 days of having everyone here. Chief Hughes, that was probably one of the most, fun times I've had. We got to suit up. Now, I do have to say, we've got pictures and video and all kinds of things, but we have the police and fire report at the next meeting. So what we're going to do is put together a video and pictures from what the 4 of us experienced. And also, I would like for us to have the video of the 2 rooms that burn. Also, the pictures where it shows about making sure your bedroom door is closed to, keep the fire from spreading. We learned, we had a classroom session as well as getting to suit up and, use the jaws of life, and we actually got to break a car apart. It was a lot of fun. Commissioner Street and I tried to get them to let us go in the training tower, and of course Jake, he said, no, you can't do that, you might get hurt. But, we were trying to get in there because it looked really exciting, but we've got a video, the firemen doing it. So really awesome having our training tower. I think that's been really beneficial. So that was a good night, and great food. Goodness. The brisket was my favorite. I don't think I've had brisket that good. Chief Hughes is quite the cook. So it was a lot of fun. And thank you to the American Legion and David Dodaro for honoring our streets and public works and our parks department. A lot of times we don't see all that they do, the hours that they work, all hours of the night, especially when there's a storm. I got to take a tour of the park after the last few storms on an ATV and with Keith, and it was just incredible how many trees are down, and to keep that park open and make it where people could still use the trails. They got in there, and I can't even tell you, I've got pictures of it, but they got all the trees out of the trails and allowed everybody to get right back to it pretty quickly. So they just really work hard, and I'm so glad that they were honored because they really need to be. Let's see. Commissioner Hall, I think you've got a good point with us getting involved with the water and sewer. That's something that we really need to just make sure that we can get involved and have somebody to represent our community. And just thank you to all the staff and everybody who, worked so hard to make Fairview the great city it is. And like I always say, let's keep Fairview beautiful and always pick up trash and not throw it out. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
To adjourn.
We're adjourned.